In a sweeping and long-awaited move, the Department for Work and Pensions is preparing to change the way means-tested benefits are calculated in the United Kingdom, and the implications could be life-changing for some of the most vulnerable people in the country. From July 22 ND, 2025, just days away, payments received through the Miscarriage of Justice Compensation Scheme will no longer be counted as income or capital when determining eligibility for key welfare benefits like universal credit, housing benefit, income support, and pension credit. For years, those wrongfully convicted of crimes and later exonerated have found themselves facing another kind of punishment, a financial one. After enduring the trauma of prison for a crime they did not commit, many found their compensation payments being used against them when applying for vital benefits to help them get back on their feet. But all of that is now set to change. The government has finally acknowledged the injustice and moved to rectify the financial consequences experienced by these individuals. This is more than a policy shift, it is a long overdue recognition of the hardship suffered by some of the most unfairly treated people in Britain's justice system. The rule change means that starting from the 22 ND of July 2025, any compensation paid to a person through the official Miscarriage of Justice Compensation Scheme will no longer be counted as income or capital when calculating means-tested benefit entitlements. In simple terms, this means the money received for being wrongfully convicted will no longer reduce or disqualify you from universal credit, housing benefit, or similar support. This change applies not just in England, but in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, a UK-wide reform that recognises the basic principle that a person should not be financially penalised for being wrongly imprisoned. But what does this actually mean for those affected? If you've received compensation under the Miscarriage of Justice scheme, and you currently claim any of the following benefits: universal credit, pension credit, housing benefit, income support, income-related employment and support allowance, or income-based job seekers allowance, then you need to take action. You will need to report a change in your circumstances. That report must include confirmation that you've previously received compensation due to a miscarriage of justice, and crucially, that this compensation is no longer being classed as capital by the DWP. This could make a massive difference. In the past, people who received this type of compensation were often excluded from means-tested benefits because the payment pushed them over the capital threshold. They may have had tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of pounds, awarded to them for the years of freedom lost behind bars, and the DWP counted that money as capital, disqualifying them from financial support. But from July 22 ND, that rule is being scrapped. Anyone in this position, whether you're currently receiving means-tested benefits or you were previously refused them due to your compensation payment, is urged to come forward and re-engage with the system. You will need to show evidence, including your compensation award notification. But if you can do that, your entitlement will be reassessed, and you may finally receive the support you were unfairly denied. It's worth repeating, you do not need to wait until July 22 ND to take action. The change is official from that date, but preparations and communications are already underway. If you're watching this and you know you or someone you love received compensation due to a wrongful conviction and is struggling financially, this could be the most important update you hear all year. The Department for Work and Pensions has made it clear, this rule change is not a temporary fix, but a permanent shift. Compensation for miscarriages of justice will no longer be used as a stick to beat people with when it comes to benefit calculations. It won't be treated as income. It won't be treated as savings. It won't disqualify you from housing help or income top-ups. It will, finally, be treated for what it is: justice. And this change comes after mounting pressure and public outcry. For years, campaigners, legal experts, and former prisoners have highlighted how absurd and cruel it is to take away someone's right to benefits because the government had to pay them for imprisoning them by mistake. Some cases saw individuals lose hundreds of pounds a month in support simply because of a compensation payout they never asked for, one that was meant to help them rebuild their lives. This rule change isn't about generosity. It's about basic fairness. No one should have to suffer the double punishment of wrongful incarceration and financial exclusion. And now, with this landmark shift, the DWP is finally correcting a grave administrative injustice. If you don't currently claim means-tested benefits but were told in the past you couldn't because of a compensation award, it's time to take another look. From July 22 ND onwards, that compensation won't count against you. You may now qualify for benefits that were previously denied, and in some cases, you might even be entitled to backdated support if your circumstances haven't changed significantly since you were refused. This change isn't just about money. It's about dignity. It's about recognizing that people who've been failed by the justice system deserve every possible opportunity to rebuild. And while nothing can undo the years lost in a prison cell for a crime you didn't commit, at the very least, this new policy ensures that the compensation meant to help you won't be used to hurt you again. There are thousands of people across the UK who will benefit from this change. Some are still struggling in silence, unaware that this reform is coming. Some may not have spoken publicly about their conviction being overturned. And others may still feel hesitant to return to a system that once failed them. But now is the time to act. The rules are changing, the door is opening, and justice is finally being followed by fairness. The government has already advised that anyone who thinks they might be affected should prepare their documents and be ready to contact the DWP. You'll need proof of your compensation, ideally your original award letter or official documentation from the Ministry of Justice. If you no longer have those documents, it may be worth requesting replacements now so you're not delayed once the new rules take effect. Remember, this rule applies to all 4 nations of the UK. Whether you're in Belfast or Birmingham, Cardiff or Glasgow, you are covered by this change. And if you're watching this on behalf of a loved one, maybe a family member, a friend, or even a client, help them understand what's coming. Many of those affected may be older, or out of touch with the benefits system. Others may not have the emotional energy to reopen old wounds. But helping them secure what they are rightfully entitled to could change their quality of life overnight. We should also recognize the campaigners and legal professionals who made this happen. This change is the result of sustained pressure, legal victories, and the voices of those who refuse to be silenced. And while the DWP rarely makes major benefit policy shifts lightly, in this case, they listened and acted. There are still questions to be answered. Will there be automatic reviews for previous cases? Will any backdated compensation be available? How will the DWP handle complicated cases where someone's income dropped for reasons related to the original miscarriage of justice? These are questions we'll be watching closely, and we'll bring you the updates as they come in. But for now, the message is simple. If you've received compensation for a wrongful conviction and you're struggling financially, your luck and the law may be about to change. The support that was once denied could finally be yours. And for thousands of people who've suffered enough, that's a long-awaited step toward real justice. Stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the story isn't